Hello, everybody. It's 2 o'clock on a Wednesday, and it's Connie, and I'm live, and I have a fun and kind of extensive project today. But first I have a couple of things. I'm just going to wait a moment for people to join me. I just want you to see that there are 21 days until Christmas. I'm doing the countdown. Oh my God, I'm doing the countdown. And with that, there are so many things I want to do and so many fun projects I want to make. I have my my Christmas mug full of coffee. It's so good. I actually make like hot chocolate and put coffee in it, so it's really like just hot chocolate. Don't let me fool ya. Anyway, so today, a couple of things I just want to show you. I've been getting a ton of questions about Stampin' Up! And how that whole system works. How it seems like they're coming out with new stuff all the time. How do I know what there is? Is there a catalog yet? What's happening? And I realized I don't always talk about that. And so today I'm going to take 5 or 10 minutes and just kind of go through how this works. Sorry, I'm going to use my iPad. I apologize for the glare. First of all, Stampin' Up! Has an annual catalog. It comes out every June. And so, yes, the annual stuff is in that catalog. And it looks to me like they try very hard to keep everything in that catalog pretty well going through the year. So if it runs out, they order more. And, you know, that's pretty much how that goes. There will be a new catalog that comes out in June. In the meantime, they have a seasonal catalog that we're in right now that goes through the end of December. And that stuff in that catalog has been put on an alert that it is last chance because they reordered what they could, and then when it runs out, it runs out. And so I'm going to talk about that for a minute. And then the other thing is the new mini catalog comes out from January to April, and that is like a celebration catalog. And there are some specials and some freebies that you can get with purchase during that time. And so everybody talks about it and looks forward to it. It's exciting. And that brings me to where we are now, because there is a catalog coming to you right now, which is a celebration catalog, and it's more of a flyer, and a catalog that'll, like the mini, that supplements the big Bertha annual catalog. Okay? So that's where we're at. Now, what's confusing everybody is this online sales stuff. And the online sales stuff is confusing because there is no catalog for it. And it's often, so far, has been my favorite stuff. So every time I talk about something I love, you're looking through your catalog for it and not finding it because it's only online. So if you shop like I do, I shop where I basically look through the catalog, mark anything in there that I really like, but then from evermore, after that, I tuck it away and then I go online for everything, because most of what I want to buy myself is an online exclusive, an online special. So I know that's not everybody's favorite way to shop, but it's the way that I don't miss what's coming and what's exciting. So the first announcement before I show you the catalog stuff information is this. This is the sneak preview of the Paper Pumpkin for December. For those of you who have a subscription to Paper Pumpkin, you have until the 10th to skip this one or order it if you want it. And then it'll jump to the next month. Everybody who subscribes to Paper Pumpkin, you get a sneak peek like this every month. And then you can, based on what you see, decide whether or not you want to skip it or take it. And if you do, there is a little extra die cut sort of exclusive or stamp set exclusive that you can get that kind of goes with this or coordinates with this if you like it. This one is card making and it's florals. You can see it's like raspberries. Raspberries? I think they are blackberries. Are those blackberries? Anyway, that is the sneak. Okay. Now I can go to the website. When you sign into the website, this is kind of what you see, and what you get this flashing banner. And if you flip through the flashing banner, you can see some of the new items that are coming. But I want to show you, how to find items that are kind of new. So the little hamburger thing at the top, if you click on that, you get a drop down menu. And basically what I do, there are a lot of options here. You can click shop products and it gives you all of these little categories. And one of the categories is online exclusives. So you can just look at that, or you can just look at bundles or whatever you want. But if you click shop all, excuse me, it always puts the newest stuff first. So you're always going to see what's new first if you just shop everything. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is this. They come out with, whenever they update the online exclusives every other month, they also have 2 new kits. This kit is called the Perpetual Beauty Calendar. And if you guys remember the calendar we made a few years ago where you use it over and over again because it doesn't have, it's like an event style calendar where basically, you know, for the month you put in like all of the March birthdays, and then you know, you can just flip it over and over every year and keep adding to it because you're not entering it into an actual calendar format, if that makes sense. So it's like a perpetual and ongoing event calendar that you can keep track of. And it's a kit that you decorate, and it's really pretty. I may get it just because it's kind of cool. It comes with several things. It's not a terrible price. It's like $25 and it's a fun project. I may do that. The other new thing on the online exclusives is a 6x6 paper pack, which is this is like front and back of different stripes, and the back side is kind of like a crackle type print, and those are kind of fun. I was kind of thinking that this reminds me of like the paint swatches that you get at like Home Depot or whatever, and I just thought that was really kind of a clever thing for paper, because there's a lot of things out there on Pinterest using that style of using the paint swatch things. The other new kit is this one. It's a cherry blossom treat set, and it is really, really sweet. I used to use things like this for all the people I worked with, and I would just throw, put a little treat in each one and throw them in a mailbox at work. And it's really nice because, see, you get a stamp set, twine, you get a mini block, you get an ink, a little ink. It's kind of it's just a nice little kit. This is the new online exclusive 12 by 12 paper that I think they redid it, like refreshed the color. So it may have been different colors before, but definitely worth looking at. When you look at these, it's hard to see the print until you go into the individual papers like that. So it's worth looking at on your time. Like, I don't want you to be sitting here stuck looking at everything online. This is the other new online exclusive. I think they kind of like a bring back your pack in different colors, and this is my favorite. It has kind of that toile look on one side, and then it has like different patterns on the back. And so I think this will be really nice for spring. I think it'll be really nice for Valentine's. I think it'll be it's 12 by 12, so it's good for scrapbooking. You know, I can use a lot of 6 by 6 on scrapbooking, but it's just like one of those things where, you know, it's easier to use a 12 by 12 pack, but it doesn't really matter. I've been using 6 by 6. This little kit is kind of cute. It's like a black and white coloring book, and then it comes with watercolor pencils. Here's one that's kind of clever. It is landscapes, and they're dimensional. So let me just click on that and show you, because it's kind of cool. It comes with the frames and the photos and different punch outs, and you make it all dimensional and then put it into the actual frame. And I thought, well, this would be really clever if you're a scrapbooker and you travel. You could use the dimensional parts on your scrapbook pages and then use the little frames for something totally different if you wanted to. Or they're a great size to highlight, like a 6 by 6 card. I was thinking of those Stamplistic cards that I often make. But you know, I would love to have like a set like this where I could just pop the cards in and out and highlight different ones each month. It's just kind of a clever idea. Anyway, so there's where the online exclusives are. Here's that little embossing folder that I showed you that makes that I use to make the little Christmas sweaters. There's a new cake set, and I believe there is a scrapbooking page kit that will be coming out in January that coordinates with this birthday stuff. This happy hibiscus is so cool. It's just like the seashell die or hybrid embossing folder, and it has dies that cut out the embossed images. And so it's like that. It's like the leafy one, you know, where the cutting blade fits inside the folder. Really cool. And I'm glad that they're continuing that. Anyway, so these new online exclusives are very exciting, and it made me realize I'm going to fall in love with some new stuff soon, and I'm going to get tired of making Christmas stuff at some point, so I need to crank through my Christmas stuff. The other thing, I just want to show you this little wedding car. Demonstrators have purchased this ahead of time. You know, we have like a month ahead to purchase this, and people are going bananas making little red cars and putting Christmas trees on top of them and filling them with greenery and stuff, and making this their Christmas cards using this little car. So don't get stuck into thinking it's only a wedding set. People have been doing all kinds of stuff on here, birthdays and Christmas, and it's just a cool idea. I was thinking it would be fun if you have the little lawn fawn people, they would fit inside like the little drivers. Anyway, and this gold, I've almost used mine up. I just keep cutting off of it and using more and more and more of it, and so I'm gonna have to buy more because it's that perfect thickness let me grab something I made yesterday using it so I can show you. So I made some little, I'm going to blow a surprise for you, but I made some little Christmas ornaments yesterday for some of my customers and stuff. And that I used that cord to hang with. It is the perfect sturdiness, and it is like easy to tie. It's not that flimsy, filmy, kind of thread. It's very nice. It's like a braided kind of cording. So that is really nice for that. And what do you think of my Christmas ornament? Isn't it adorable? Okay, anyway, moving on. I just wanted to show you this because this is what I'm getting questions about. People are asking me, how do I know what's new? And I don't like to shop online. And this is how I shop. I go to the hamburger, I click shop products, shop all, and just go down the list because the newest stuff is first. Now, the other thing I want to show you is under specials. Now on a computer it'll be across the top, but under specials there is bundled savings and last chance products. And if you click that last chance product, it's basically almost everything out of the fall and winter section, and it's like your last chance to buy it. Because what they're telling you is they're not going to reorder it again. Now, this, for example, this little snowflake that says currently unavailable on it, it is due in on December 9th. So everything on here has, if it says unavailable, it has been reordered one last time, and that will be it. And then it will be it. You will not be able to get it. Like, they're not going to reorder this Snowy Scenes again. This is my favorite paper this year. I didn't think it would be because I don't love peach. It's so non-traditional. I just didn't think I'd like it. But I've actually used an entire pack and had to buy more. I had no idea that I would like that so much. And all of these fun things that, you know, were in that little mini and online, they're going away. This decorative trees bundle is due in on December 9th, and it'll be the last chance to get it. It is probably my #1 most used Christmas stamp and die this season myself. Now, everybody has different, you know, things that they love, but it's worth it to go through this last chance product thing because they have reduced some of the prices. And for example, that paper pack that I'm using on New Year's Eve to make like 4 2-page layouts, this paper pack is marked down now to $8 from $10. So another 20% off. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here. I have this set. I haven't even had a chance to really use it yet. I have a lot of things in here that I had planned on showing, and look at me, not showing them yet. So I just want you to know there are some deals that, oh, Stephanie, that embossing folder that I used that looked like whipped cream in the background, it is in here and it is only $6. It just shocked me. I was like, oh, wow, what a deal. $6. So worth looking at the last chance and worth looking at the new online exclusives. That, my friends, is how you shop the deals at Stampin' Up. I would not, you will be getting a catalog, but you know what? The catalog is fun to look at, but it's not fun to shop from. There's just too much online that you'll miss if you only use the catalog. what I'm doing with my catalog is I'm going to go to the page, you know, where it has a stamp set that I have, and I'm going to cut out the image of this page, and I'm going to tuck it in with my stamp set so that I have the ideas, you know, in a way that when I pull it out again later, I'll have some cool ideas for it. You know what I mean? So that's my plan, and I hope that helps you. Okay, now for my fun project today. You know how I've been doing those stash busters with the card making? Well, I realized if I don't get moving on using up some of these Christmas papers, I'm going to be storing them. And I fall in love with new paper every year, and I do get out my old paper, but I don't want to store a lot of paper. And sorry, my nails, I need like a manicure again. But anyway, I realized that I had one entire pack of this reindeer paper that I had not even touched. Look, it's still in the wrapper. And I had a whole pack of the cardstock that coordinates with it. And then I thought, well, I'm going to add my own colors. I'm going to add a little bit of my jade green and my glacier and some black and white. And I'm going to do a stash buster because I need to use this paper. I need to use it. And so I'm just going to organize this a little bit next to me. And we're going to stash bust. Now, I'm not going to get everything finished because I really only usually plan on being on here an hour. It'll probably be like 3:30 when I'm done, but for the day today. But if I have time, I'll finish a few of the pages and show them Friday. We'll see. It's very hard because I have some plans tomorrow. I may not have time to play and get those layouts completely done. I just want to lay out all of the different patterns that I have. I think the color, this paper right here kind of throws me, this green, the limey green. It just hasn't, I don't know, it hasn't stuck with me for some reason. It doesn't inspire me as much, but I have plans on using these layouts. I have plans on using these layouts for a lot of my holiday stuff from Disney, because the thing is, if you go to Disney this time of year, one of the things that's really cool is everything is Christmassy. It's all decorated. They have trees decorated on like every corner. There's music playing. There's lights. You end up taking all these random pictures of scenery and the castle with all the different decorations and, you know, just everything. And a lot of those scenery pictures don't need a specific, you know, specialty layout. I just need something kind of Christmassy, and I'll just put, you know, decorations around the season. And sorry, I keep drinking my coffee. That's how I'm like, woo. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is tell you that I have no plan. What I want to do is I have kind of a few, I kind of was thinking about Close to My Heart and some of their sketches that they do traditionally through album retreats and when they do layouts and examples in the catalogs and things like that. And it's super easy to look back through your old catalogs and old idea books and see that there is a theme that runs through a lot of their layouts. And so I just want to make some of their, some of their layouts in their style, right? And I want to use as much of this pattern paper as possible. Now, I have a tendency to grab cardstock a lot. And so that is, that's kind of a hard thing for me because I really do tend to grab the cardstock. But I'm going to make it happen. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is let's do stripes. We need 5 different, well, at least 3 different papers. I usually pick 5, and I think I want the 2 reds in this one, so I'll pick those. I probably should. I kind of like the reindeer with that other green. It kind of coordinates. And I really like the holly. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I need one more. And I think the one more that I pick is going to be a cardstock. So what color cardstock do I want to pick? And I might choose that green. Let me just see how that looks. Yeah, so this will be my first pattern. Now, what I'm going for is I probably should draw a picture for you, but I'm just going to wing it, okay? We're gonna cut these in 2-inch strips. Now, Close to My Heart has this thing that they do, right? Where they have strips that go 2 inches across the page. So we're going to get a couple of base pages. And basically the strips will go 2 inches like this or 2 inches vertically. And I think I'm going to do the traditional horizontal version. Now, I'm going to use my chopper because I'm faster with it. And I need 2 strips, one for each page. So the first strip, I'm going to cut this this green, and then I'm going to stack these, and I want to make sure I'm going horizontal so I don't mess up the pattern on the other side. And I'm going to go 2 and 2. Then I have 2 of each of those patterns. And then same thing here. I want to make sure I don't mess up any of the patterns on the other side. So I want to make sure I'm horizontal when I cut. And I'm going to cut 2 inches and 2 inches. Okay. So here's the first thing. Now, with other paper, you could go vertical if you want. But basically, you're just going to lay out your design in an order that you like on both pages. Like this. There you go. Oh, that's stuck together. All right. So then our first layout is going to be, hi Margie, this style. And what we want to do is we want some space on the side so that we can do some cool, decoration. Now, if you wanted to make this vertical, usually with Close to My Heart, they do maybe only 3 stripes here and then stripes across the rest. So you could do something vertical like that. But like I said, I'm kind of doing the horizontal thing. So all of my stripes, I like how they look. I'm going to make them shorter, and I want enough space over here for a full photo. So I'm gonna cut these to 7 inches, I think, on one side. All right, so there's all my stripes for this side. And then this one, I think I can do a little bit wider. I'm gonna have them butt up at the center and have a little space on the side, but not a lot. So this one, I think I can cut this one to 10. All right, there we go. So there is layout number 1, and now I just have to, you know, put everything on. I'm debating on whether you need me to adhere, because watching me adhere things, it's like watching paint dry. It's painful. So I'm just gonna show you the stashbuster idea that I have, and then off camera I can always adhere these and tweak them a little bit. Now, to make these even better, right, what we need are some really great photo mats and a really great decoration over here. Hi, Karen. I know it's like freezing, and the wind is picking up. They said we're supposed to get squalls or something tonight, and I'm worried about all that blow up stuff in my yard. So I just deflated the stuff over here at this house. I need to go deflate everything next door before I have like things rolling across the neighborhood. Okay, so for my photo mats on these, you know, since I'm doing kind of a Disney theme, I love the idea of doing a giant Mickey head right here with some, like maybe one big photo. So I'm gonna save this spot for a giant Mickey Mouse head and then do like a 4x6 photo here. And then over here, I want enough space for some pictures of decorations I took. So just trying to decide what color of photo mats I need. And I told you I hate this limey, weird color that they chose. It's just not my thing, but I thought it may actually work really good on layouts like this, just to pop everything off the page. So I'm gonna keep trying it. I'm gonna keep trying it because they put it, it's just non-traditional for me, right? It's just a non-traditional thing. I could also do red. If I do a giant black Mickey head there, it might be kind of neat to have all of my mats in this real red. I like that idea. Or even, let me grab my black. I have all my colors in a pile, you know. I think I may have to add some black to this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my, I don't like to, you know, I don't love to cut my photos down, so I keep them 4x6. And so I definitely want to cut this to 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 and make a couple of black photo mats, which I think will look really cool. Like that. I want to be able to see my paper, right? I'll have my giant Mickey Mouse head in black right there. And then I need some red photo mats to go with it. So I'm going to cut that to 4 1/4. I'm going to cut a couple of 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 squares. And I can put those here. And I still have room I have my big photo here. I still have some room for some really cool decor kind of thing here. Now the other thing that I have all those picture cards from the pack or whatever, and I thought, well, wouldn't that look really cool to put on the page also? So I'm going to be adding some of these. Like if I'm doing a whole bunch of tree pictures from downtown, I can put that on here as a decoration piece. Look how many of those there are. And I have a lot of options. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so this is kind of my generic layout number 1, and I am going to set this aside and start layout number 2. Now I'm gonna go put this on my table. Give me a sec. Now, the next layout that Close to My Heart does all the time, just all the time, is a set where they do 6 or 9, like 3x3 photos, you know, like in a grid. Like they'll have one in the middle and then a whole bunch of grid. And I was like, well, that's a good use of some of that pattern paper. So let's see what we've got and, you know, decide how we want to use it. And I think I want to use some of this limey color. Ooh, look at that. That's pretty. Okay, I'm gonna change it up a little bit. The other one that they do all the time is 11. You cut this 11 by 11. You cut 1 inch off of each side so that it's an 11 by 11, and then you have this kind of around the edge like a border, right? And you do that twice. 11 by 11. I don't know if I have 11 inches on this one still. Ooh, but I like the reindeer. I'm going to do this page 11 by 11. And then I'm going to do my grid onto here. So let's see. I need some of them to be solid. So I'm going to pick red, and I'm going to go with 3.5 by 3.5. Okay, so I'm going to cut a couple of those. I don't like that light side of that red. I like the dark side though. It's cool. And I think I might actually do 3 of the red. There's something about, you know, it's Christmas and it's red, and it really does help to have kind of 3 of those. You might notice this pattern is one that I did on some of the layouts I think I sent to you guys, because it's just a really common Close to My Heart layout. It's just very common. Okay, the other one I want to use these trees. Wow, those are really, that background's so busy though. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut some 3 by 3, 3.5 by 3.5 in the green. I'm sorry I can't have everything on the screen. I guess I could back up, you know, make my photos bigger or something like that. And then I think I'm going to use white because this needs a little break, doesn't it? A little bit of a break. So let me grab my white. And we will do another 3.5. All right, 3.5, 3.5. We're gonna have a white. And And I like the presents showing. I'm not sure I'm going to cover that up. But I do really want to use this little tree. So I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut 3 1/4 off of one side. And cut 3 1/4 and fill in one of these squares. And it can be anything. You can put it on any of the squares. Boy, that green makes it pop though. Wah, I like that. I'm gonna cut another one. What was that? 3 1/4? Yeah, that's nice. Okay. Then I have, I have some of these, which I think I can add in here. I love the Believe in the Magic. Believe in the Magic. And I can put that up on foam tape. This is the Reindeer Memories, I think it's called. Reindeer, what is the name of this? Days. Reindeer Days. I'm using the cardstock that comes with the pack. I'm cutting it up for some of my photo mats. I'm thrifty, okay? All right, and I think I can use a whole bunch of different things for, to decorate this. I'll have some photos and I have some vignette kind of things that I can put on this. Now let's make the second page. I'm gonna scooch this over, grab another piece of black so that I can make a second coordinating page. I love this Christmas tree print and I want to carry it over here. So I'm gonna make a big border. How wide is this? This is 4 1/2. It just happens to be what I have left over. I don't know why. I'm just gonna put that on here like that. And then I'm going to cut my tree print down to 4. And look at that. Cool. Now, the color that's missing is the lime and the red. So I definitely need some of that limey, I need some of that limey print. So I am going to tack it on. I think I'll put it over here on the corner, on the edge, like that. And then I just need some red, a big red photo mat. And maybe some of that lime color would look really good matted on that. So let me just cut. I did get a couple. I splurged at Walgreens when I got my Disney pictures done. I took advantage of the Black Friday deal, and they had some really great deals on photos. And I went ahead and did some 5x7s because I don't do 5x7s very often. Boy, that's really neat. I think I do want a little more of that green showing, but I will figure that out in a minute. All right, so I really like that. And I love the idea of having another card in the middle here. Like something in the center. There's several options. I could bring in more of that limey color by using this tree. or I like that red. And I like the idea of having some space to journal. Let me just grab the others because I'm missing a few here to options. Enjoy the gifts of the season. There's the presents. The presents might be an interesting, I might be able to use that as a tag at the top. You know, I bought this really cool paper punch that it was really cheap on Amazon, and it cuts the top of your tags so that they look like decorative, and I thought that was really neat. So I'll be able to punch a couple of tags, and maybe I'll use both sides, and I'll be able to put one like that and one like that, and I'll have 2 tags there. Love that idea, right? So I'll have this here and this here. And I'll cut the tops. Love it, love it. Okay, so I like that. And then Merry Christmas and Winter Blessings is the other. So I have several options, and my favorite is this one. So I'm going to put this here, and then I think I'm going to put a photo down here. Aw, okay, there's layout 2. That's a very common, close to my heart style layout. I'm going to put that aside. So Reindeer Days is the, let me just find the little thing I'm looking for. Okay, Reindeer Days is the paper. Reindeer Fun is the thing. And then I think I swear, I think that the scrapbooking set is called Reindeer Memories. I could be losing my mind. I haven't learned all the words, all the names, but this is the sticker sheet. Obviously, I'm going to use these stickers kind of like I do on my stashbuster, where I go back to those layouts that I just made using up this paper, and I cut these apart and I use them on the pages. I cut circles and tags and things out of cardstock, and I just add to the embellishments. And you know, if you have other stamps, just stamp a whole bunch of stuff. I always have like this little basket full of different little things that I've been making, and I just add them to my pages and stuff as I go. Okay, let's do another very common layout. How about we do a red base? Because why not? It's crazy. Should we do red? So a super common layout that they like to do is to take a paper and go all the way across 2 pages with it. And you need it, you know, a fairly good amount. Let me see how much of this I cut off already. So this piece is 8 inches wide, which is actually perfect. And so I'm going to cut another piece at 8 inches, but I don't want it to go all the way to the edge. So I can cut this down to, like 7 maybe. I'm going to cut it 7 by 8, and that way it will just sort of kind of continue on. I could have done that better. I mean, I could have made it line up a little a little better, but you get the drift, right? Like I could have cut it so that my reindeer all meshed, but that's all right. I'll make it work. Okay, now the other thing on this is it needs to be, it needs something at the top and something whoop over here on the side. And you know, you could flip it. I mean, you could make it like this and then do your doodad over here, whatever you like, you know. Like sometimes maybe I'll leave it that way because that way we can put our title down here or over here. All right, we need things at the top and the bottom, and I'm trying to use my paper. So, wow, this is really cool. I love the jingle bells, but it doesn't show up on the red. If I switch this to a different background, I could use the jingle bells with the little reindeer. Oh, that's a possibility. Okay, let me just grab some white instead and let's see what we can do. All right, Moose. So Mustafa is really fascinated right now with this one corner in my craft room. And what's happening is there is some wild cats that have taken shelter underneath our deck right outside my door. And I don't know if he can hear them, smell them. He knows they're there. He totally knows they're there. And he's going bananas wanting to be near them. Okay, I'm gonna cut like zip strips. I'm gonna cut some 1/2-inch strips. I love the jingle bell idea on the top of that. So I'm gonna cut, there's 1, there's 2. So I'm gonna put this here, and I'll cut that. And then maybe I could do at the bottom. Nope, I'm gonna do the top. I'm gonna do the top and not do the bottom. And then this one, I'm just gonna cut to be even. Crooked but even. Okay, and then there we go. Ah, that's so pretty. And then I think I want some scallops over here on the side. Boy, this is really cute. This little Merry Christmas. That could be my title. But I still need some scallops on the side. And I like the idea of using green. Which green? There's like 3 greens in this pack. But my favorite green with this, it doesn't come with it. This one is actually jade or garden green. It's my favorite one. And so I'm gonna get out my circle punch. Watch out, Moosey. Ugh. Okay. Ugh. This is a 1.5-inch punch. That'll work. And I'm just going to punch a few of those. Maybe I'll do something on the bottom too. All right. And then basically what I want to do is, ooh, that wind. I keep seeing my gingerbread guy thing flying around right outside my door. Yes, my door is open. I usually leave my door open so that Moose can watch out. Otherwise, he just gets bored and drives me crazy jumping up. All right, so this is my plan. I'll cut these in half and I'll make like a little scallopy border. How cute is that? And then I just need to decide on photo mats. And boy, this is so busy. I hesitate to use anything but white, but I don't want to cover it all up. You know what I mean? But we'll see how it looks with my photos. What I could do is I could do like a white strip and then smaller red mats with it. Really cute, right? Okay. I love it. And let's see. So I'm going to cut this to 4 1/4. And five. Oh, it's so pretty. And then I can have one larger photo here, but I don't want to cover up all my cool reindeer. Just saying. So I may fiddle with this a little bit and make it just a little smaller. Let's see. All right. So if I cut this down here, my reindeers still show. And I can put my mats here. This is a super common layout for Close to My Heart, where you do something artsy over here. Maybe you do some ink blending, you have some a cool stamped thing over here, or maybe you put a giant circle with a cluster of little cute, you know, whatever images, you know, that you have up here. You also do something right here where, you know, you make like a cute little cluster, and it can be in between your photos or on one side, but that, you get the idea, right? This is a super common Close to My Heart style layout. And, you know, again, I can use like a little card here, you know, just something to tie it all together, which, come on, that's a beautiful layout. Okay, so there's number 3. I'm going to move that off to the side. My goal is to not have any paper left, or have so little paper left that I am okay with tossing it. So from my memory, I just sort of made some sketches from like things that I know that I've made over and over and over again. So here is the stripe one that we made. The paper on both sides, we did that one. Although I did my photos a little different then, but you can see what I did. I like circled this area to have like a cluster, maybe a title or something down here, and then a cluster over here just for balance. Let's do this one next. This is a really super common layout, like I said, where you have 6, or you have, you know, you have like blocks of color. And I do want at least one of my layouts to have some red, and I could do this crazy green. Huh, that green, it's so much. I like the lighter side of it a little better. I have some weird light coming in. Oh, it's the sun going down. It's coming into my blinds. I'm sorry about that. It's so weird. It's a little hard to adjust my lighting. I need to get out my second light. Okay, so we're gonna do 6 big blocks on each thing, okay? Or at least 4 here and 6 here. And those blocks, we want to have a couple of inches, you know, above and below, which gives us 10 inches to play with. And that if we're going to put 2 photos with a 1/4 inch between, that gives us 9 3/4 to play with, minus 1/2. So we have 9 1/4 inches. That means we can set our cubes. What's half of 9 1/4? Oh, it's like, let's just do 4.5. 4.5 inch, you know, blocks of color. And I really love the idea of using this tree thing again. But let me see what I've got. You know, I have not used my limey color ones, and since I'm using limey color there, I think I'll do that. So I'm gonna cut this to 4 1/4, and that's too wide. I should cut it to like 3 1/2. So we'll do a 3 1/2 by 4 1/4. Right? And what's on the other side of that? The dark. Don't want the dark. What else do I have? I have more presents. Oh, I could do some of the deer and some of the plaid. Let's see what I got on there. 4 1/4 inches tall, and we will do 3 1/2 wide. Sorry, I'm off camera and you can probably see my arms stretching around, which is weird. I kind of like this one that has the deer so that it's like, it just kind of shows up better. Okay, I like that. I like that. So far, don't get me wrong. I don't love it. I'm gonna like that. I'm gonna like it. These are not my colors. This limey color, just not my thing. Like I said, it's okay. But I'll make it work. Okay, so then we have this one, which will calm things down a little bit. So I'm gonna cut it to 3 1/2. And I'm gonna cut a couple of 4 1/4. And then here, I think, is where I need like a card. I like the winter blessings on there too. That's a possibility. I also really like this Very Merry. And look at that. That would be a good one too. So I'm gonna think about this. Try to decide what I want to do. This little set comes with a couple of little tiny stickers, and the stickers are so small. I haven't used them much, but I might be able to use some of them today. don't love that. But I like the idea of having some journaling. Just not sure I want it there. Okay, now to tie everything together, we need something to tie it all together. And I think the answer is this dark green, or I thought about black because I'm doing Disney and, you know, black and red is a good option. If you guys are commenting, I am not seeing your comments. This Facebook thing has started to get on my nerves. No. And I'm struggling a lot with a lot of the changes that Facebook has made. I think a lot of people are starting to flip to YouTube because it's not had so many insane changes, which, I understand. I understand why they would switch. So yeah, I might do some photo mats in this green color on this side, or some decor in that green color on this side, because it'd be really easy to make some toppers for this. So that I have some visual triangles of the color that I like, and then I really need to add some white to this. And so I think a lot of these, I might take some white and just start chopping down just real thin photo mats. These are 3.5, so if I just cut that to 3 3/4, and then these are 4 1/4 wide. So if I just cut these to 4 1/2 and just have some of these on white, it will really help. What did I say that was? 4 1/2, 4 1/4. So 4 1/2, 4 1/2. So I'm just gonna play around just for a moment with some extra little mats. I like that because it goes like in a pattern, and I might do another color pattern the other direction. So there you go. I like that. And then I need a zip strip going over here. And this is screaming for some stamped decor. Like, you know, a really cool random stamp thing through here, or just words that say, you know, just words going up and down. That is gonna look really, really neat. So that is the plan there. And then I need a little more red on this side. And so I may really pop this on some red. I think that'll look really good. I will put some Mickey things. I might even, I could put my gondola pictures on here, and I have the Stampin' Up! Stamp set of the gondola from last year, and it would look really cool going over the trees right here. And I took a whole bunch of little pictures of us on the gondola. You know how they have those skyway gondolas that instead of buses, or in addition to buses this year. So I think that will be a very cool thing on here. The other thing that I think would look really neat is to take this pattern and cut out some of the lights, and you know, use that pattern a little bit to make, just to fill in some more of the space. I like that. I have some journaling spot and some decoration spot. I have places for pictures. I think I'm well on my way. I may have a little work to do on this one, because I feel like it needs a little more, you know, color, a little more red on this side, and I may put a big photo there. I'm not sure yet. I'll have to look at my photos that I have in mind for this page. This is a really common, it's not the most beautiful page I've ever made, but this is a very common layout from Close to My Heart. And when you take your photos and you're putting them on these areas, a lot of that pattern will be covered up, and you won't have so much pattern competing with itself. It'll be calmed down a little bit. I try not to use so many patterns on one page, but this one is gonna get some stamp work. Okay, all right, there's layout number 4, partially done. It needs work, and I have ideas for it. I have ideas. Okay, the next one that I want to do, let's start with a white background. I am doing a good job, I think, of going through this pattern paper. If you see how much I have left, I've chopped a lot of it up into parts and pieces and bits and bobs, and so let me just kind of show you a little bit of what I have left. I have this. I have not made a glacier page yet, and I definitely want to use these little reindeer. I think they're adorable, so I'm going to use that next. I have that much of it left, and I still love the jingle bells. I have lots of little tiny squares and a strip. I have these reindeer. Those reindeer might work for the glacier thing too, although the die cuts cut that out. If you purchase the die cuts for this set, there are die cuts that coordinate with this little deer, and with there's like two things. This one, and I think on this green one, and this one right there. So you have die cuts that'll cut out of your paper, which is kind of nice. And then I definitely want to use some glacier cardstock on this. And you know, red would look great, of course. Red would look great. But I was thinking, gosh, I could even use pink on it, or a little bit of, but red makes it pop All right, red it is. Okay, that's what I'm going to use on this page. I'm looking, I have a little bit of this left as well. And I really do love this while I'm using the glacier colored papers. I should use that because it's too cute. I think I might make this one a dimensional page, but first I got to get this cut down. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to make 2 sections, one on each page, that is basically a rectangle in the middle of each page, and I want it to hold 4x6 vertical photos. So let me look at my sketch and see if that'll work with my sketch. Oh yeah, this is kind of what I have in mind right here. So that's where I'm starting. So I want to do at least 2 4x6 vertical photos. I think I'm going to cut that out of white. I think I'm going to cut that out of white. So let me get that cut first. We're going to cut 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Moose is just like, how dare you walk by my house? The nerve. All right, so we're gonna have a couple of photos and we want a rectangle to go around it. So that is going to measure about 9 1/2. So we're gonna cut a couple of pieces, 9 1/2 by, well, let me just cut my 9 1/2. Yeah, I really like this. This is great. I hope you guys are enjoying this a little bit, because by 7, I'm gonna cut it 9 1/2 by 7. And I'm going to put one on this page. I'm going to cut another one for the other page. I am excited. I have another piece of glacier. Nine and a half by 7. I'm going to do that on both sides. So each page will match, and I will have, I'm thinking about using this as a photo trim, like put my picture in the middle of it, you see, like a border, because I have quite a few of these, and I can put my photos inside so they look like they have like that candy cane stripe, you know, border. I love that. Huh, that's cool. All right, I'll do that. There's 3 of them. I guess I'll do 3. I have 3. Do I have 4? I do have 4. Okay, there's that so far. So good. And then I need my reindeer paper. And how do I want this so it'll show? I am going to just I'm going to cut a strip at the bottom. See how there's like stripes of scenes on here? I don't want to chop heads off and stuff very much. I really want as much of a scene as possible. And it looks like it's going to be about 2 1/2 inches to do that. Maybe 2 3/4. All right, so 2 3/4, and 2 3/4. I just want enough so that you can really see the cool little reindeer. I love how they look. Oh, that is so awesome. I'm gonna put this one at the top, this one at the bottom. Now I need some red, right? And I think I need to outline these pieces in red. So I need to get out some more red, just a second. I bought this real red 8.5 by 11. You know, one of the things about the Stampin' Up! Cardstock, I wish, you know, they're trying to appease us scrapbookers by making the two-tone cardstock, but their actual 8.5 by 11 cardstock is super thick. It's really nice, and I kind of wish that they would make 12 by 12 in their salad, because, all right, I couldn't remember how big that was. Let me use I'm using my mat, my glass mat as my measure. So just give me a second. So this is 9.5 by 7. So I need to add at least a 1/2 inch on. I've got a big mess over here, pardon me. 9.5 by 7. So I will make it 10.25 by 7 3/4. Now I'm throwing stuff on the ground. Now I'm just getting ridiculous. Okay, so I'm going to put this behind here, like this. This is going to be my last page because you guys have got to be getting sick of watching me, right? I am excited because I have burned through so much of this paper now. And I don't have that much left. I have just enough to make some cool treat boxes with. And then I am going to be able to throw away scraps or throw them in Margie's box that I have sitting here. And I know you'll find a use. All right, so there's that. Oh, that's so fun. Okay, I'm really liking how this looks. I love the idea of using this Jingle Bell paper, and I need a zip strip on here, and I want to avoid green. Remember, this green will not show. This will have a photo on it, so I won't have any green on this page. I'm sticking with the blue, the white, and the red. I could add brown to the mix, because interestingly, this paper pack has some brown in it, and I could add some brown to this mix, and it might be a nice use of it. Like I could use that for my title, or as my zip strip kind of thing. I'm gonna cut, I think maybe I'll use this one to make my dimensional element. All right, so just for a minute, I'm going to stack these up so that I can show you what I want to do. I want to make a fold out on this page, or a flap that will fold, And I know it'll be a little tricky when I do my page protector, but it'll work. So I need to find which way it folds better. Now, when you hold your cardstock, one way it doesn't want to bend, and the other way it's like boink, and it curves like crazy, like this. And the way it bends the best is the way you want it to be up and down. You want it to be vertical. And I want to put at least one, maybe two photos on it. So I'm gonna just go ahead and make this 5 inches across. Just like that. And then at the bottom, I'm gonna cut the bottom around the corners or do something special with the bottom. But at the top, I want about 1 inch of it scored. I want to be able to bend that where it doesn't crack. So you have to get onto your scoreboard and do, at the 1 inch mark, do a score. So that when you fold it, your color won't crack, okay? And then what I'm gonna do before I put my page together is I'm going to adhere this to my page, okay? And then I'm gonna put my paper on the top. Now I could adhere it to the back of the page, but it'll work better with my page protector, I think, to do it this way. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Well, wait, I'm gonna wait just a second. I wanna make sure that I have it in the right place. I want to make sure that I am covering this photo. Like, I don't want this to be like half shown here or halfway here where you see a partial photo here and a partial photo there. You want it covering an entire photo, okay? So make sure that when you put that on, that you have it in a good spot for that. And the way to do that is to put your page together. And I haven't done anything yet. I haven't even used any adhesive yet. So this one, I'm gonna have to adhere to make it look good. So I'm just making the borders all the same, all around. Try to make it as even as I can. And then I usually try not to go too close to the edges in case I decide I'm gonna tuck things in later, because I know I want a zip strip in here on this layout, and I think I want it behind this red piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to just adhere in the center. That seems crazy, but that way I can adjust later if I need to, or I can put zip strips at the top or the bottom. And yeah, I know it's floppy, and I can always add a little more adhesive underneath after I get that put together, you know, after I know exactly what I want to do. Now this is going to get a lot of work. I usually use something stronger than my tape runner, but it's okay. So I'm gonna cover this photo. This photo is my left photo. I want it covered. I'm gonna line this up at the top. Just like that. I want it nice and straight. And now this is going to be a flap, a photo flap, that I am going to use for some pictures. Now, I love this paper, so I am totally using this paper. I'm going to trim it down. Looks like I need to cut about 1/2 inch of it off or so. Let's see if that's enough. I mean, you know, I could measure, but you know, it is me you're talking about. And I need to inch off the bottom. All right. Now this has to be secured really well. Gosh, I love this paper. I wish I could get it in bulk. The problem is always I like the paper on both sides. Now, why didn't they put that ugly lime color paper on the back of something, on something I loved, right? And then I wouldn't worry about it. Okay, and then I'm gonna put this, make it nice and straight. There's a UPS guy out there. All right, looky there. Now I can put my fun reindeer. Oh, okay, it's really weird that he came to this house. Maybe I should put it at the bottom. No, I don't want it at the bottom. I want it at the top. I'm going to trim it a little more, though. Yeah, the UPS guy just came up to this house, which is weird. So, Jen's official address is this house address. So, it's probably... Oh, look at the jingle bells. That would be fun, too. All right, I'm going to hold off on adhering that because I'm not sure what I like better. All right, so there's that. I might use the jingle bells as my zip, seriously. I love it so much. I can't decide. And then I'll do the same thing over here. And then I will decorate and I'll put a photo here with a mat. This is number 5, layout number 5, and I think that I should go now. It's 3:30. That's craziness. So please let me know what you think. I would love to hear your thoughts on the pages. Tell me what you think. I have very little paper left, you guys. Very little paper. Now, I only have scraps. This is what I've got left. I have enough to do another layout with scraps. Or, I don't know. You know? I could do another green layout. So... I'll probably do one more. That means I'm getting 12 layouts out of this, and then I'm going to just crank through a few cards or something to use it up and throw the rest away. That makes me so happy. You have no idea how happy that makes me, because now my Christmas layouts are kind of ready. I can put Disney stuff on them. I can put sites around the city. I can put the various Christmas things that we go to. I love to go to like Hobnob Festival and take pictures of, you know, the whole crowd from the top and from the second floor and stuff. And there's so many options. So I hope that you enjoy this too. And this is a great way to smash through a whole paper pack, do a big stash buster, and use it up and not have to worry about storing it. All right, have a fabulous afternoon. I'll see you Friday. Bye-bye.